Welcome to another Polkadot tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to talk about time-delayed proxy, why they are important and how you can use them. We will specifically talk about this scenario here. We have a stash account, Eleanor. The stash account has a controller that has access to all these staking related actions. We will make Charlie also as a staking proxy, a time-delayed staking proxy. We will have access to bond more funds and change the controller. So if we don't have so much trust in Charlie, and for example, Charlie later on wants to change the controller and make Bob a new controller, and Bob might want, for example, to change the reward destination and send the rewards somewhere else, then this action of Charlie, changing the controller, will have a time window. Within this time window, we can revert this call. So either Eleanor or Charlie can revert this change the controller call, and so that Bob will never basically become a controller. So in time-delayed proxy, the time delay is used exactly for monitoring the proxy. If the proxy sends some call, we can see these calls and we can revert them if we don't want the execution of such transactions. Before diving into today's tutorial, if you find these videos helpful, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below, as this will help other people to find our content. And if there is something that we didn't cover yet and you are interested in, drop us a message. Here we are on the Polkadot.js user interface connected to the West End testnet. And we have these three accounts. Eleanor is the stash. We can check this under staking accounts. We can see the stash account is Eleanor, the controller is Charlie. So what we want to do now, to go back to accounts, we want to make Charlie the also a staking proxy, a time-delayed staking proxy. To do so, we need to go under developer, extrinsic. We need to select Eleanor. Then we select the proxy palette. And we need to add a proxy. The new staking proxy is Charlie. It's a staking proxy under proxy type. And the time delay here, we put 30. The time delay is measured in number of blocks, which means that 30 blocks correspond to approximately 3 minutes, because a block is produced approximately every 6 seconds. When we are good with this, we can submit the transaction, sign and submit using Eleanor, the stash. The browser extension will display some information about what we are doing. We are doing a proxy.addProxy extrinsic. We are assigning this extrinsic that we add Charlie as a staking proxy. So we successfully added Charlie. We can go back to accounts. We can check under proxy overview. Charlie is a staking proxy. It doesn't say that this is a time-delayed staking proxy, but it is. We just did it. Charlie is a staking proxy that has a delay of 30 blocks, approximately 3 minutes. All right, now we want to use Charlie to assign a new controller, Bob. In order to do this, we need to go again under developer tab, extrinsic. Then we want to select the proxy, which is Charlie. We need to select the palette, that is the proxy palette. And we need to announce the call. So when we are using time-delayed proxy, we have two steps. The first thing is that we announce what we want to do. Then there is this time delay within which we can revert the announcement. After the time delay has passed, we can approve the announcement. So this is the first step. We are announcing that we are actually assigning a new controller, Bob. So we need to specify here the real account is Eleanor, the stash, and the call hash is the hash of the call that is including the information about the change of the controller. In order to know how this call hash looks like, we need to simulate Eleanor that is changing the controller. So we need to go to open another developer extrinsic tab. We select Eleanor, then we select the staking palette. we search for the function set controller, and the controller we want to set is Bob. Here we can see encoded call hash. This is the information we need. We can copy, go back and paste it here, and we can submit the transaction, and we're signing with Charlie. The browser extension will display some information about what we are doing. We are doing a proxy.announce extrinsic. So we are announcing our call that we want to change the controller. So what we can do now, if we go back under network staking, we can see that under accounts, Charlie is still the controller. So Bob is not the controller yet. In order to visualize what we just did, that we did this announcement, we can go under a block explorer and here. First we need to copy Charlie's address, then we can paste it here, hit search, and we can see that 58 seconds ago we announced the proxy call. If we want to revert it, because we are still within the 3 minutes of the time delay, we can go back to the developer tab. Then we select Charlie, we select the proxy palette. Then we can use remove announcement if we want to sign with Charlie, or reject announcement if we want to sign with Eleanor. In this case, we use Charlie, we use remove announcement. The real account is Eleanor, the stash, and the call hash is the hash of the call that we simulated before. So we copy this again and we paste it in here and we submit the transaction. So we can go back to the block explorer, refresh, and we can see 15 seconds ago we removed the announcement. So this is how you remove the announcement in the case you don't want Charlie to assign Bob as a controller, because you don't trust Charlie and you don't trust Bob. And Bob might act in a malicious way, changing the reward destination or your nominations. You can see here, he can do all these actions in here. So we go back now and we redo the announcement. We will wait for the 3 minutes and then we will basically approve the announcement, and we will see that the controller will change from Charlie to Bob. If we go back to the network and staking and we refresh the page, we can still see that Charlie is indeed the controller. So what we want to do now is to create the call again. From Charlie, we announce again the change of the controller. So we select the real account, the stash is Eleanor, the call hash is the same as before. So we copy this and we paste it in here. We submit the transaction. So we can go under the block explorer, we can refresh the page and we can see that we re-announced the call. Now we will wait for these 3 minutes and then we will be able to approve the call. So now we can see that 5 minutes have passed, so we are after the time delay. So we can actually execute the action of Charlie that he wanted to change the controller. To do so, we go back under the developer tab and we select Charlie. Then we select the proxy palette. Then we have to select proxy announced. And the delegate is Charlie. The real account is Eleanor. Here we can build the extrinsic that was sent and is from the staking palette, set controller, Bob, and that's it. This is what we want to approve, so what has been announced, and we can submit the transaction, sign and submit. That's it. We can go back to staking and accounts. We can see under staking accounts, the controller now is Bob, is no more Charlie. Note that you need to wait for the time delay to call the proxy announced. if you're calling the proxy announced within the time delay, you will get an error that the proxy has not been, the extrinsic has not been announced yet. So you need to wait for the time delay. After that, you can approve what it is in the announcement. All right, I hope you learned something today about time-delayed proxy. Thank you for watching, and I see you in another video.